Welcome back to tonight's broadcast, A Place for Stories. I'm Cedric Dominguez, and tonight we continue with Chapter 16, Part 2 of What Would I Do Without You. In Part 1, we started as a nervous day at the lake, slowly becoming something Isaac had been hoping for. Chris finally apologized to Aaron for the way he treated him in the past. Aaron wasn't ready to forget everything that happened, but he was willing to give Chris a chance. And as the day went on, Chris began opening up to everyone, even sharing some of the pain he carried since losing his mother. Then, as the sun began to set, something happened that caught Isaac's attention. Aaron sat down by the lake, and Chris joined him. Watching the two of them from a distance, James turned to Isaac and asked him a simple question. He means a lot to you, doesn't he? Isaac thinks he knows exactly what James is talking about, but he's about to find out James may have noticed something Isaac hasn't been ready to admit, even to himself. So let's pick up exactly where we left off. This is What Would I Do Without You, Chapter 16, Part 2. Chris? Yeah, I guess. We were very close friends, but before I could finish my sentence, James interrupted me. No, dude, I'm talking about Aaron, James said as he signaled towards him with a chuckle. I turned to look at James as he sat there with a smile on his face. What's with the grin? I asked him defensively. Quit the act, plus your secret is safe with me, he said, giving my shoulder a soft push. I didn't answer him because my heart swelled with affection for my friend. At that moment, life felt perfect. I let my guard down and smiled at James lovingly, then turned to look at Aaron. The evening came to an end and we were all dead tired. The seating arrangements in the car changed for our way home. I was the one riding in the back of the car while Chris and Aaron talked in the front. I am happy that things are beginning to fall into place, just the way my abuelo said they would, I thought to myself. I decided to wait until I walked Aaron to his front door to ask him what he and Chris had discussed. So, what did you guys talk about? Seems like you two had a good time watching the sunset, I asked as we slowly ambled up his driveway. Aaron chuckled and said, I was wondering when you were going to ask. Well, I didn't want to interrupt the great friendship that was forming between the two of you, I answered back, laughing at myself. We will have to discuss it tomorrow because if I don't walk in that door soon, I will be grounded for sure, he said as he looked at the door. His smile faded. Sometimes I felt he would rather sleep outside than in his own house. Okay, I get it. We can talk tomorrow. Hey, we have the whole summer, right? I said with a smile as I started walking backwards, not wanting to look away. Good night, Aaron, I said gently. Good night, Isaac, he replied as his smile reappeared. He turned the doorknob and walked in. I stood there for a few seconds. There was something about that good night. Maybe it was the way we locked eyes until he walked into the house and closed the door. I hurried back to the car because it was Chris's turn to be interrogated. When I got in, Chris had a big smile on his face. What's with the smile? I asked Chris. You want to know what we talked about, right? He said before I even got the chance to ask. Yes, I do, I answered him enthusiastically. Okay, I'll start from the beginning because I know you. You'll never stop asking questions, he laughed as he drove me home. So you saw me walk over to where he was sitting and I asked, do you mind if I sit here? And he said no. Then he continued, right? So we sat in silence for a while. It was too quiet. You could hear the ripples in the water as the wind blew. Aaron didn't say a word. All he did was sit there staring at what was in front of him. I knew I was the one who was going to have to start the convo, so I told him I really meant what I said in the car and apologized again. I waited for a response, and after probably a minute, he took a deep breath and slowly let it out. Then he said, I know you did, but I can't help but think that you don't really mean it, or you're just saying it because you have no one else to hang out with. I felt surprised that Aaron could be so bold with his former bully. Chris continued, I wasn't sure what to say to that. The only thing I could think of was, I know, I was an asshole. I take full responsibility for my actions. I told him that I had been trying to fit in and that I know now that I had no business hanging out with those guys because we had nothing in common. Every time I did something to someone, I felt bad. I tried hard to explain to him that deep down inside, I knew I was doing wrong, but I was trying to please a bunch of morons, which made me the bigger moron. I told him I really wanted to fix this thing between us because you had been a good friend to me. And I told him that if we could get along, it would make you happy, Chris said, smiling at me. What did he say? I asked Chris, feeling nervous and at the same time wanting a bucket of popcorn as I listened to the drama unfold. Everything he said sounded like the right thing to say, and it seemed to have worked because I had seen them laughing after a while on the rocks. Well, he was quiet. He wasn't saying anything. I even thought he wasn't paying attention. At least not until I started talking about you, Chris said. This time he tried to hide his smile because he was laughing at my reaction. I asked as I put my hand up to my chest. Why about me? I told Aaron that you were a great guy and not to push you away, that you would treat him well, I said. Honestly, I think you two would be great together. And that is when Aaron turned and stared at me. This time Chris did not look at me. You told him you thought he and I would be great together? I asked him, almost yelling at him. Oh, chill out, Chris commanded with some attitude. Why did you tell him that? Wait, what did he say? I asked, realizing I wanted to know that answer more. Wait, I'm getting there. That's when I figured out that it wasn't just about me coming into the circle of friends. It was about the kiss I gave you because he practically yelled at me. You kissed him. Why did you tell him? Or rather, why didn't you tell me that you told him? He got pissed. I told him that I did kiss you, but I still didn't know why. I assured him that I am not in love with you or anything like that. That truthfully, I was feeling so down and alone that I felt I needed some connection. I needed someone's warm touch. I was freaking out because I didn't want him to be mad at you, but I still wanted to be honest. I explained how I figured out I was gay a long time ago and that I spent too much time fighting it, and it got me nowhere. What it did get me was people hating me and me pushing away one of the closest friends I've ever had. You, of course, he said with a kind smile directed at me. I urged him to continue, and he shook his head in mocking exasperation, then said, I told him the night I kissed you was the night I fully accepted myself. I think also, more than anything, Isaac, I really wanted to feel something other than the pain. I was looking for the love that I felt I had lost, and I guess I thought that I could find it through sex, and I told Aaron exactly that. And then, he paused, and I could see a mischievous smile growing on his lips. And then, he repeated and laughed. When I said the word sex, he looked straight at me. And if looks could kill, well, you know. But I told him to relax because we didn't have sex. That actually you stopped me and pushed me away. And I'm glad you did. But yeah, he freaked when I brought up the S word, Chris finished with a single glance at my reaction. My jaw dropped. I couldn't believe what Chris was telling me. What else did he say? I asked Chris. Well, at that point, I laughed. And he asked me why I was laughing. And I told him I was so embarrassed because it felt like I had kissed my brother. That finally got a smile out of him. I apologized again and asked him for time to show him who I truly am. Then I gave him a pat on the back, and yeah, that was it pretty much. It was a lot to take in, and all I could think to say was, wow, I am glad that you two had the chance to talk things over. I think it was good for both of us. It was nice talking to him. I should have listened to you the first day of high school. Aaron is a very cool guy and very intelligent. He even made me laugh a couple of times, Chris said as he pulled up to my house. I am happy to know that we can all get along now. This is great, I gushed. This is going to be the best summer ever, said Chris laughingly. And I knew he was laughing at me, but I didn't care. I was truly happy. And that brings us to the end of chapter 16 of What Would I Do Without You? What started as a day Isaac was nervous about turned into something he had been hoping for all along. Chris was finally finding his place among Isaac's friends. And more importantly, maybe the past between Chris and Aaron was finally beginning to stay where it belonged, in the past. But something else happened that day. James saw something in Isaac that Isaac had been trying very hard to keep hidden. And when he said, "Don't worry, your secret is safe with me," Isaac realized that maybe his feelings for Aaron weren't quite as invisible as he thought. And then there was Aaron. The way he reacted when he learned Chris had kissed Isaac. The way he looked at Isaac before saying goodnight. Neither of them actually said what they were feeling, but sometimes you don't have to. Chris ended the night by saying, "This is going to be a great summer." And for once, Isaac believed him. His friends were together. Chris was beginning to heal. Aaron was giving him a chance. And whatever was happening between Isaac and Aaron, maybe that was beginning to change too. We'll find out as we continue with chapter 17 of What Would I Do Without You? Thank you for joining me here on tonight's broadcast, A Place for Stories. I'm Sergio Dominguez. Until next time, good night.